Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone out there, depending on where you're watching from. It's another beautiful day. We need to look into another thing. So, just as I promised earlier, I'll be picking topics from the CCNA and we'll be doing the labs together. So, let's look at another one. We are still in the earlier stage of the journey, so I'm rushing the video to meet your demand, your studying speed. The last one was posted 2 days ago, so I'm gonna be posting as soon as possible. I have a predetermined topics or basic things to do already, so I've jotted them down to follow the instruction here and there. First of all, I will look at how to console into the networking devices in a more realistic manner. So I mean, as if you are doing it in the real life, like you are trying to console into the device with your laptop or with your computer or stuff like that, rather than just clicking on the device and then you are brought to the CLI. Okay, then we're gonna do some other basic configuration. Host name, you want to change it from the default one to your preferred choice, of course. And then you will also be using, I'll be showing you how to use shortcuts when you are typing. So the uses of tab, uses of question mark to remember some words or commands you have forgotten. Then we'll be doing some basic security, creating username and password, apply them to the console line, apply them to the VT1 line. I will explain what VT1 line is. That is when you want to reach the device remotely using Telnet, SSH and stuff like that. So you use the VT1 line. VT1 line. Alright. So enable secret or enable password, and then if you use enable password, how to encrypt them so that it will not be plain. I will show you how they will be encrypted and unencrypted when we are doing the lab. Then we will do some basic port configuration, such as how to enable the port, how to describe the port, how to set the speed, the duplex, and then assign IP address to the port. We are not going to look deep into an IP address now, but we need some basic one for remote connection. So let me add that remote connection. If the videos permit me to do that, because of the length, if I determine that the length is too long, I will leave the remote connection to another video. But if the length is not too long, I will add this remote connection as another topic, meaning I will use only Telnet for now. Telnet configuration. Alright, so we'll be looking at IP configuration in another video, but here we will just assign one IP address to an interface and then to an SVI of switch, because switches doesn't use layer 2 switches doesn't use IP address, so we can only assign to the SVI. SVI means virtual switch interface. So we do that for remote connection, so that if in case you want to telnet to that device, use that IP address. Alright, so let's get started. We always begin with topology. I'll use one basic topology here. So let's pick up a router. Let's pick up a switch. Go to the switch down here. Pick this first one. Then let's pick up some PC. Let's say want to connect these two PC together. I'm not going to do anything with this PC here, because we are just going to focus on these networking devices, so and how to do those setup inside them. But let me just connect them to complete the topology. So pick straight through here, to Ethernet 0 to fast Ethernet 1. We connect again, Ethernet 0 to fast Ethernet 2. So these are the switch and the router are two different kinds of devices that transmit and receive on different pins. So we use crossover cable to connect them together. Alright, so since it's an uplink means the link that the interface that is facing another networking device. So we use gigabit interface. I'll connect it to gigabit 00. Now there's one basic things I want to show you that will make your maybe when you are configuring easier, so that you know the port. That option is to enable port label. So to do that, you go to options, preferences, then here is enable cable length. No, use CLI as device show port label. Okay, yeah, okay, here is it. Always show port labels in logical workplace, so tick it, and then there's a, so you can see the interfaces are labeled now. Alright, so let's look at the work plan again and see how we want to do that. Okay, then console, how to console it. Assuming you are in your workspace, then you want to set up this switch, going to CLI here is a good option. It's only possible in simulation like this and simulator like this, but in reality there's no how you can console into your device here by just clicking on the device. So you're definitely gonna go with your laptop or computer and then your console cable. So let's go and pick a laptop on the end devices. Here's my laptop, drag and drop, and I need a console cable. Go to the cable, then pick this curve sky blue cable is the console cable. So click on it, click on the device, you see console. So this console port, select that, then go to the laptop, click on it, see this RS232 port, connect that. Alright, so we can access the device here like through the laptop now. So let's click on the laptop, go to desktop, go to terminal. Terminal means terminal emulator. In real life we always download terminal, but in this case you follow the laptop com, so you click on the terminal. All the settings you leave it that way as they are, don't change anything, just click OK. I'm in the CLI of the switch. Alright, so we can now access the switch through our laptop. Let's look at the work plan again. What is the next action in line? So okay, we want to do some basic configuration. The first thing is to change host name. Alright, before you configure any device, you will leave this mode to first of all enter enable privilege mode. Then from privilege mode you enter configuration mode. So you do it sequentially. First step is enable. Then I told you I'll be showing you shortcut on how to type some of this command fast. So I normally use shortcut. I don't use to complete the words, but if you want to complete the words and you want it to be faster, you can use the tab key to, when you type one or two, like when you type like 2 or 3 of the beginning of the words, you use tab, the system will automatically complete the command for you. And in case you remember the first command, then while you are trying to type the rest you have forgotten, then you can use the question mark to see the various options. So the system will help you to remind you of the command. So for example, let me say configure. Sorry. So for example, let me type this configure now. Sorry. So I write conf now. I have not completed the statement, the word, so I press tab key. Then it helped me complete it. Then terminal. Okay, let's assume I've forgotten the word terminal. I will use question mark. What will the option be? Will I see will the system remind me? So let me try that. Question mark. Yeah, bring out the next one is terminal. So space question mark. Go to configuration mode. I can do any configuration now. So we say our first configuration is to change the host name. This is our switch one. So I want to change it from, let's say, I want to change the name to hub switch. Okay, so I will type host name. Sorry, there's no space between host and name. Is there? Let me question mark. Okay, no space. Host name, then followed by the name you want. Let's say hub switch. Alright, enter. Sorry. Okay, I can't get space between the hub and the switch, so to do that I can use dash hub switch. Okay, so I want to save the config, do right. Alright, so let's look at our plan again. I've shown you how to use the shortcut, but I'll be using it along as I'm doing other configuration always. So if I'm doing other configs, I'll be using these tabs and question mark. To be honest with you, it's not every command I still remember. So with the help of these question marks, I am still be able to remember some of the commands. So basic security. So normally, if you got your networking device, of course, you won't leave it open. You will want to set it up to avoid unauthorized access. So first thing we are going to do is to set up username and password. So let's do that. The username, I want to give it for J, then followed by password. You can use password, but that is not safe at all. Password will be stored in plain text using level 7 encryption, which is easy to crack. It's not even if anybody get access to your running config, you can see the password. So we normally use a secret using level 5 upgrading to encrypt the password. So let me say CCNA. Alright, username for J, secret CCNA. Alright, so let me save this, do right. Okay, so another security you need to carry out here is the enable password or enable secret. What I will do here, I will use the enable password to show you something, to show why password should not be used, because it's always stored in a plain text. But in case you have already used a password, you can still encrypt it, but that encryption is not strong at all. Let me say enable password. Okay, enable password followed by the password you want. Let's say Cisco. I use CCNA for the other one. I will use Cisco here. So the enable password is to add another levels of security to the device, even though if you are able to escape the username and the secret, when you want to enter the enable mode, you will still be required to enter another password, which is a separate one. So do right to save. And that is, I want to leave the configuration mode. I want to show you something now. So show run. I want to filter. I don't want to view the entire running configuration. on this device. This show run is to show the current configuration that is running on the device. So I want to show a specific part of it, that is that password side. So that enable password side, I want to view the password, whether it will be in a plain text or it will be encrypted. So I will say show run. Let's show running config. I short it, show run pipe. I want to filter it now. Pipe section. The section I want it to show is enable. So let me see. You can see the command is in plain text. The password is in plain text. But just as I told you, you can still encrypt this password if you have already used this enable password. So let's enter another configuration. Configure terminal. So to do that, the command is service password encryption. So that is if you want to encrypt already typed password, a password that you have already typed in plain text. I want to encrypt it. Alright, so let me go back to that show run again. Let me exit out of the configuration terminal. So press the up arrow to bring previously typed command. And so now you can see enable password is no longer Cisco. It has been encrypted, though this type of encryption is not as strong. It can easily be cracked by using dictionary attack by an attacker because it's a level 7 type of encryption. The stronger one is the level 5, which is enable secret, but that's still not the best. The best one is level 9, of course, when you specify the algorithm to be used anyway. So there's another thing I want to show you. If you have already typed use this enable password and you still type in enable secret, the enable secret will override this enable password because that is stronger. So I'm not going to demonstrate that again because of time. Alright, so let's look at our work plan again and see what's next. Okay, so as I said, let's work based on the plan so that we will not mess them up, to follow it in a sequential order. So I have done the basic configuration, username, enable password and stuff like that, but it still remain to apply then to the console and VT1 line. Alright, so console exists by default, but you need to create the VT1 line. So let's do that. First of all, let's apply the username to the console line. So go to configure terminal, say line console 0. Why is it console 0? That is because there's only one console port on the device. So only one person can connect to the device through the console port at time. So line console 0. So say login. The username and password I created were local. That is, I didn't create them on the console line. So I will say login is local. Login local. Okay, do right to save. Okay, I want to exit out of here now to test it whether it's applied. Exit again. Okay, now as you can see, it's requiring the login details now, such as the username I have created. So I put for J, right? Then the password was Cisco or CCNA. Let me try Cisco. Oh, that's incorrect. J CCNA, right? As you can see. Then when I want to enter enable, it will require another password. Enable Cisco. Alright. So let's look at Did we configure that for the line VT1 now? Okay, let's do the line VT1 now. Configure terminal line VT1 0. Let me see 5. Alright, what does that mean? 5 and 0. That means there can be uh, about 5 users connecting to the device remotely at the same time via Telnet or SSH. Alright, so if I use VT1 0 to 15, that means there are about 15 users. 15 users can connect to it via the Telnet option at the same time. So I want to specify only 5. Alright, so enter that. Say login local, but that's not all. You get one more option, transport input. I want the option to be Telnet, though Telnet is not used in the modern world more again because the security of Telnet is very low. That is, the commands, everything you do through the Telnet are not encryption, are not encrypted to be say. Sorry, everything you do when you are connected to the device via Telnet are not encrypted, and an attacker that interfere with your data can get every details to later access the device. So Telnet is not used in modern network like the SSH anymore. But the SSH is encrypted and is more secure. But some people still use Telnet, so I'm still going to show you. The reason why I'm not going to use SSH now is because of the length of the video. It's getting too long. If not, I would have shown you both in this one video, but that one is a bit more complicated than this one, so I will schedule that one for another video. So transport input. So here you have option of all. If you enable all, that means all protocols can be used to access it, because it's not all about SSH and the net only. There are other protocols you can use to access the device. Then if you put none, that means you disable remote connection. If you put SSH, that means only SSH will be used. If you put Telnet, that means only Telnet will be used. But in a real network device, you can use both SSH and Telnet at the same time, but this packet tracer doesn't support that. Say unrecognized command, so you can use one at a time in packet tracer. Let me warn you about packet tracer. Not it's just a simulator, so it doesn't behave like a real life device. Some commands may not be supported, sometimes it misbehave on its own, so get that noted. Sometimes you may be typing commands that work for some people and it's not working for you, and you may be questioning yourself whether you get it wrong or stuff like that. It might not be your fault. Sometimes packet tracer misbehaves, sometimes it doesn't support many commands, sorry, not most, many commands. Okay, so I want the transport input to be Telnet. So if I configure IP address on this now, I can access it remotely. Alright, so let's look at the plan again. So we have applied the security to both VT1 line and the console line. Alright, so the last part, not the last yet, second to the last, we want to configure some ports. The ports, let me say, I will configure the port that is connected to this router now. G01. Alright, G01. Let me configure that port. Let me exit out of this line VT1 configuration mode. So type end to Avia. Okay, enable it. Configure terminal again. T. Then interface G0/1. That was the one that is connected to the router. Enter. Let me describe it. Description. The command to describe it is description. Enter tab to complete the command. Then followed by the description you want to give. I will say connect to hub router. Alright, so if I view interface now, I can easily know which interface is this and which one is that. So the one that is in use. Alright, connect to hub router. So let me look at the various things I say I want to do in that. Okay, so enable the port, description, speed, duplex, IP address. I'll tell you something here. This IP address is not applicable to this switch because it's a layer 2 switch. So we assign IP address to VLAN instead. So let's do the other basic one. I've already done the description. Every other things are supposed to be in auto, but I want to show you. Let's say speed. I want to reduce the speed, but I will put it in auto. Put speed, then put question mark to see various options. Alright, you can put it in 10 Mbps per second, 100 MB per second, 1000 MB per second. Then the last option is auto. So let's leave it in that auto so that you can automatically negotiate with other connected device. So let's say auto. Alright, duplex should be auto to auto. Alright, so which other one? Which other things are we supposed to do there? Let me see if I can assign IP address to it. If it is a layer 3 or layer 2 device. IP address, let me put question mark to see. Okay, unrecognized command because it is a layer 2 device. Okay, so let me end it. Right. To save my command, I always save my command to avoid in case it crash, in case because I'm doing a networking work in real life. I always don't want to do that mistake of not saving your commands. So sometimes you may end up leaving the scenes without saving, and you think you have already saved it. Maybe when the device reboot anytime, your configuration is gone. So you'll be wondering why some of the devices are not working properly anymore. That is because the configuration you put earlier was not saved. So when you restart or there's power fluctuation and it go up, it go down, the configuration is no longer there to function. Alright, so I will save every minute. Every time I type 1 or 2 commands I save, so there's no harm in saving. Okay, so there's one more thing to do in this particular switch, that is to enable the internet configuration. We have almost completed it because we have already created the line VT1, we have enabled the login local, you have enabled the transport input telnet. So the last thing to do to enable telnet now is to configure an IP address that you'll be using to telnet it. They call it management IP. Alright, so we configured the IP address on the default VLAN. So VLAN is another topic that we'll be looking up to later, but just know that we use the default VLAN 1. Note that VLAN 1 is the default VLAN, so we will be using it to access the device remotely. So VLAN 1 already exists, but let me see. Configure terminal VLAN 1. The command to create a VLAN is just type the VLAN, then followed by the number of the VLAN. VLAN 1 is already exists anyway. You can change the name, but since this one is the default one, you cannot change the name. So let's say management VLAN. It will reject the command because it's the default one. But assuming I use another VLAN like VLAN 2, VLAN 3, I can change the name. See, default VLAN 1 may not have its name changed. So I don't need to change the name here now, so I need to do other things. So VLAN have interface mode too. So to assign an IP address, you have to enter the interface mode of this VLAN. So let me leave this VLAN configuration mode with exit, or you can use end. Okay, let's say interface VLAN 1. Alright, so let me say IP address 10.10.10.1. Let me use subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. Alright, do right. Okay, we are done with this, and you have to go to the router and do the same. End your cable, delete your cable by pressing the delete. This can use this, but I always use the keyboard delete thing. So let me cancel. You have to click the cable first, if not the entire sorry, I'm trying to click only the cable so that the entire device will not delete. Okay, yeah, select the cable, it's deleted now. So go back to the console cable, connect it on the RS232 again. Now connect to the router, then console. Alright, so a curious person would have asked me why this interface connected to the router never come up, but the one connected to the PCs are up since. Alright, I will tell you. By default, router interface are down, that is, they are shut down unless you enable it. Oh, this have even remind me of also that VLAN interface is also down by default, so you have to enable it. So I have to go back to this switch and enable that VLAN 1 interface that I assigned an IP address. But the physical interface on the switch are up. So as soon as you connect any device, it will come up. Alright, so the physical interface on router are down. You have to enable them first, just as the same as the FVI, that is the VLAN. Alright, so let me use the default way of considering the device here to enable that VLAN 1 interface. Go to CLI. Alright, so I'll say configure terminal interface VLAN 1 no shut, meaning no shutdown, to enable the interface. You can see the interface has changed state to up. Alright, so we are in the router now. Remember, the interface we have to configure is G000. So go to the terminal, leave everything in default, click OK. So first time connecting to it is asking me whether to leave it in the default to enable default configuration or not. So I will click no. Let me adjust this thing so that you can see it. Sorry. I'll say no. I don't want to enable any configuration. So enable. Okay, because there's no any security set here, so everything is still free to access. Let me go to the security, continue. Let me say enable secret. The other one we use enable password to create the enable password, but this one I want to use enable secret, a more secure version. So let me say CCNA. Is this CCNA I use a Cisco? Anyone anyway. Okay, username, because I've already explained everything in depth for you in the switch section, I'll be doing that fast here to save time. Username for J, secret. Since I use CCNA for the enable secret, I'll use a Cisco for this username access. Okay, let me apply then to the right interface, both the console and the line VTY. Alright, line console 0, login local. There's one thing you need to note here. If you like, you can use the different security for this line console rather than using the one you created earlier. For example, if I say login, I have option to create another password, another username and password, but I want to use the one I created locally. So, sorry, if I enter that line console 0, I have the option to create different, you see, password. I can create new password here, which will be different from the other one. Then I can also set the privilege. That is, if you are accessing the device through the console, I can limit your privilege. I can allow you to do everything. Alright, so we have already used the login local. This is line console 0, right? So let me still type the login local. Alright, don't forget to save. Exit. Let me end it so that I can see if I will be. Alright, username for J Cisco. Alright, sorry. Username. Okay, that's correct. Enable CCNA. Okay, so let's remember that the interface going to the switch is the G000. So I'll say in configure terminal conf interface G0/0/0 description. Use tab to complete. Connect to hub switch. Alright. So let me assign IP address here. Because router is a layer 3 device, you can assign IP to each interface, unlike the switch, unlike the layer 2 switch that you can only assign to the VLAN. So we will assign IP address to this interface here. So IP address 10.10.10. So since the switch is using .1, we give this one .2, then 255. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay. What else? Do right. Let me test the other one, whether I can reach the other end. Do ping 10.10.10.1. Okay, I think it's learning app. We go through. Not going through. Oh, sorry. I have not enabled the interface. Interface is still down. So just as I said earlier, router interfaces are down by default. So let me no shut. You can see it has told me that the interface has changed state to up, so I can ping now. Alright, the first or two ping may fail because of app, because it doesn't know the MAC address of the switch yet, so it will try to learn the MAC. Still not going, something is wrong. Alright, let me see. Okay, oh, you see this one is amber, this one is orange. It has not come up fully, that's why it's not pinging. So it should be up now. Alright, let's see if it will come up. Yeah, it is going now. Okay, I can reach it now. Because I can reach it now, I can connect to it to do any configuration now. Let me leave this configuration mode and then telnet to 10.10.10.1. Okay, you see I'm in now, username. Oh, sorry, I typed username. as username is for J anyway. Let me just type wrong distance up there to be denied. Username for J, password is Sisene or Cisco. Let me try Sisene. Alright, so as you can see, the name have changed to hub switch here. I'm no longer inside this router. I am inside the hub switch remotely now. I can do anything from the hub switch now in wherever I am. So let me explain something to you, the reason for this remote connection. So assuming you have fully set up your network and this router is located in your city, and then this switch is located in another city, so and you want to make configuration changes to this switch here, meanwhile you are in different city, doesn't mean you need to carry your laptop and travel all the way to the city of this device and carry out your configuration and come back. So that's not an option at all. So since you have a physical connection or means of connecting to this device from the router, you can remotely connect to this switch from the router and do any configuration. So for example, if I like, I can do any configuration on the switch via the current device I am in now, which is the current device I am connected to now, which is the router. So any configuration I carry out here, if I remote to the switch from here, I can do any configuration and save it. So I can enter enable mode, Cisco, yeah. So you can see it is still the switch. Alright, so we are almost done. Let me leave the switch and complete my configuration in the router. The next configuration is to just enable line VTY2. Anyway, let me show you something. I have not enabled the line VTY in this router anyway. So if I want to, sorry, I entered the wrong, enter a wrong command here because I'm in enable mode already. So I try to leave out of the enable mode and the command is not recognized anyway. So if I try to access this hub router via the switch remotely now, it will not work because I have not completed the command. So let me do that. I am now in the hub switch. So let me say I want to telnet to 10.10.10.2. Okay, let's say invalid. Oh, I'm in the wrong mode. Let me leave here and telnet to 10.10.10.2. Connection closed by foreign host. That is because the telnet have not been enabled there. So let me do that. Complete that. Let me still connect to the exit. I'm still in the switch, so let me exit out of the switch. Okay, I'm in the router now. So let me say line VTY010, so 10 people can connect to it at the same time. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to do that from configuration mode. From say line VTY010, login local trans impute telnet to right. Alright, so I believe I can access it now. So let me try that again. Yeah, I can access it now. OJ. Is this Cisco or CCNA? Okay, I'm in. It's Cisco. Enable CCNA. Alright, so that is all. That is all. I can reach them remotely. I can do anything from this place now. So let me, for example, let me show the interface on the let me show the IP addresses on this router. Show IP interface brief. Okay, so there's only one IP address we assigned to this G00. I will advise you, I've already know the commands. You that you are still learning, you have a pen to document your commands down. Every command that I type in, you can write it down so that you can practice it by yourself. But anyway, I'll still share the file so that you should be running config, and then you can see every commands I typed there. So let me show for example, let me show you how to do show the running configuration. To do that, so show run. If you want to view all the commands I have typed in, though some default commands will follow it, but if you want to view it along the one I have typed in, you do this command show run. So all these ones are default, they follow come by default. Then see one of my command, see another of my commands. You can highlight and copy to be used later. You can paste into your own. Then I think I enter just few. Okay, see my own command. Alright, so those are the few commands I enter on this router. So let me exit and go back to the switch. Show run, show run. Then you see the commands I enter. All these ones are default ones. So see where I begin to enter commands. See my own commands. See my command. Then all these ones are default. These ones are default. So see my own command. See my command too. Alright, so that is all. The next thing, the last but not the least, but is to show you how to save it. Your work, you can save your file here by going to file, then save or save as. But I always use shortcut. I prefer shortcut. Of course, I'm going to use Ctrl S to save. Then I'll type in basic configs. Then save. Here will be saved to. Let me select a folder. So let me select this folder, document. So click on save. That is all for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you like this free video. Thanks for watching. See you next.